Aloha, y'all. It is Monday, Moon Day, named after the moon, esoterically also ruled by the moon. 17th of November, sun is in Scorpio, 25 degrees, moon is in Libra, 26 degrees, so it'll pop out of there in the next couple hours, half a day or so. Um, I'll talk about the astrology as we go. The moon is squaring Jupiter and Pluto and is opposite Chiron, which is retrograde, and Uranus is retrograde, last degree of Taurus, opposite Mercury retrograde in Sag, as well as the Sun in Scorpio, Black Moon, Lilith in Scorpio, which are conjunct by a degree. So, a lot of stuff's going on. Grand Water Trine still. I'll talk about it later. The cards of the day are Eight of Wands. The clarifier is the King of Pentacles. And the wild card is coming from the Galactic Heritage deck, Light of Awareness, number 105, the Orion Light Future Timeline. So, the Wands, Eight of Wands. If you're a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, this is your suit. It's all about actions. It's all about movement. It's all about zeal, spunk, make it so, to infinity and beyond kind of energy. On page 116, I can make this happen. Very Mars and Sagittarius energy. Taking initiative, striving for improvement, harnessing the available energy coming in. Moon in Libra, last degrees, is like, how do I make this work? You know, you've got the light and the dark, the yin and yang. How do you rise through both sides of the toroid? The Eight of Wands shifts from the intense fiery struggle of the Seven of Wands to a magical glow of visions heading for the stars. Pluto and Aquarius. A sense of the mystical has replaced the antagonism, and we can now see light emanating from a luminous destination. The Eight of Wands contains a high level of energy and thrust which propels ideas and adventures forward. As ideas soar high, though, there is still much work to be taken care of. Saturn conjunct Neptune and Pisces both retrograde. Just because you dream it doesn't mean it's like, you still got work to do. Chiron and Aries retrograde opposite the moon, and Libra is like, oh, I'm just going to sit and relax. It's like, no, no, no. There's no time to just sit and watch the sky because this card demands very focused attention. Eights deal with structure, the geometry, while the wands carry the raw combustion energy. Raw energy without a structure becomes rogue energy, unable to be harnessed towards a goal or a purpose. It's like the SpaceX, launch pads, and it kind of goes off and blows up, Challenger style. That's what happens if it's not focused properly. Once you have the accurate geometry of your trajectory and the propellant to reach where you want to go, you can work with complete concentration. Your productivity increases exponentially. However, there's almost always a natural tendency when things start to move decisively towards a destination to relax into the ride. In this instant, you must remain focused on the important details. It's the detailing of a product, a work of art, or a piece of music which separates the wheat from the chaff, and it makes all the difference. The elements of an idea can be created rapier fast. Mars in Sagittarius. But it is the details, the unique composition and interplay of the elements, Moon in Libra, last degrees, which separates a good idea from a really outstanding idea. Very often, though, the detailing can be exacting and agonizing. Uranus retrograde in last degree of Taurus, opposite Mercury in retrograde, Sagittarius. It's like, I have the vision, but what do you mean I've got a one step in foot for the other? I don't want to. Being willing to draw or compose something for the 10th time when the ninth was good enough, or minutely adjust a bass on a track in an all-night stint to get it as good as possible. This is the part where the final boost to get into outer orbit can sometimes empty the fuel tanks, and we hope we have gained just enough propulsion to reach the frictionless vacuum of space. Greatness demands a drive unseen in most people, an obsession, dare we say. Sun and Venus in Scorpio. Moon will be entering Scorpio soon, so we'll be like, I gotta focus, I gotta obsess. As you work on an idea, what can you add just a fraction of to transform it from good to exceptional? Hard work isn't enough to achieve success. You must always be learning with the aim to continuously improve. With Mercury in retrograde, Jupiter in retrograde Cancer, Saturn and Neptune conjunct retrograding in Pisces, Uranus in last degree of Taurus retrograde, Chiron and Aries retrograde. Retrogrades are like editing, redoing, remodeling, right? So it's like, how can we edit and remodel so we can launch to our destination and transcend the situation? This reminds me a little of Interstellar. It's like, we need to get the species off the planet and move out of here. The Earth is dead. Well, it took some planning, right? And a lot of effort that was focused in a direction. And synchronicity and magic and all sorts of stuff. So, you must be discerning enough to know what is working, what is not working, and act on what you discover. You must become skilled at creating the environmental conditions to make success inevitable. Pluto and Aquarius. How do you use the laboratory towards revelation in actions, right? The clarifying card is the King of Pentacles, so it's about the material, the jackpot. How do you get to the jackpot, the goal? How do you Sagittarius Mars aim your arrow and shoot it in such a way that it hits the target? Even if you don't hit the target, you need to aim at something, right? So the King of Pentacles is the clarifier. If you're an earth sign, you're a pentacle. It's about material things and practicality. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, this is your energy. On page 98, I have mastered the art of success. Oh, you mean I've fine-tuned it and hit 3, 2, 1 blast off towards the destination? The earthy part of earth, the grounded part of practicality, the embodied part of materialism. Stable and tenacious, sometimes a workaholic, right? We're talking about workaholism and refining. Refined aesthetic, commitment to the path you are on, respect and value of the items in your charge. So you're given a shot. Are you taking the shot? Are you taking it in a wobbly way? In a sense, there's lessons everywhere. You can be, really good or really bad, yin and yang. You can, bless the poor, or you can be Jeffrey Epstein. It's all moving in a direction, and everybody's got their own little trajectories, and we're all moving towards this, light of awareness, which we'll get to in a second. It's like the unity is happening within a polarity that is part of the toroid of being, and that is the condition of the Tao. How do you find the jackpot at the end of the rainbow? Partly this way. Number 105, future timeline, the light of Orion. So on page 144, 12 times 12, which is like kind of this mathematical, every possibility of zodiacing is 144. You've heard of the 144,000 in the Bible? That's what's going on here. The light of awareness, the future timeline, number 105, Orion light. Our true state of being is as unified, abiding awareness. This awareness contains no judgment, labeling, commentary, or opinion. When we do deep meditations, we can access this state, first for brief moments and then for longer periods of time. The consciousness of Orion light represents the abiding awareness within us that transcends polarity. See how they're transcending polarity. Polarity transcending towards what? A higher octave. The gold at the end of the rainbow, jackpot. You may visualize this as a candle during meditations. Work with this exercise to reconnect with your true state of being. As each person does this, the old wounds from Orion are healed and humanity can awaken. The last 4 cards of this deck, there's 108 cards, another numerologically resonant number of mala beads on a Buddhist necklace. The last 4 cards of the deck access the energy called the Orion light, which connects with a very evolved era in Orion history, but represents so much more. They reference the complete healing and integration of not only the polarity within the Orion system that has affected us all, but the polarity that played out within the holographic matrix of creation itself. These cards represent the end game, so to speak, Judgment Day, however you want to put that. The return to the source and our natural state of being as a one unified, abiding consciousness. Once awakened, the illusion of polarity can no longer exist. Eventually, all of us on Earth will have to accept that awakening or salvation. Comes not from anyone or anything outside of us, but through our own efforts to awaken ourselves. Buddha means to awaken. If this card appears in your reading, it's a powerful symbol that the Orion light, the light of the awareness of creation, is strongly working with you for your own awakening. You may or may not feel it overtly. It may be a very subtle thing, kind of the waters of the grand water trine, Jupiter in Cancer retrograde, trining Saturn, Neptune conjunct in Pisces, trining the Sun, as well as Mercury retrograde in Sag. You may or may not feel it overtly. If you need assistance to tap into it, imagine a golden liquid light lake during your meditation and know that all aspects of creation, even the unpleasant ones, even the spooky little crevice creatures, even the shadows and the light, all of it, are made from this liquid light. Let this liquid light help you feel the unity that is your true nature, and know that this liquid light resides in you too. The kingdom of God is within, kind of stuffs. Use the candle flame as mentioned above to access this awareness as often as you can. So I think the idea today is we are moving to higher states through refinement. It doesn't always feel good, but the payoff is the jackpot. And we all get there at different rates. That's just what it is. But like, how aware and conscientious on the journey are we being? That is, source separate itself and is experiencing itself through itself. What a mindfuck, right? But make your actions move towards things you would prefer in the material. The dream is the dream is the dream, and forevermore. Amen, right? So hopefully that makes sense on this moon day. If you've enjoyed this, leave a tip. Holler for a reading. An hour of cards is $50. 3 hours of astrology is $150. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, Scorpios. It's half off on either or both of those. And if you refer somebody to me, you get half off on a card reading for yourself. So plenty of ways you can get 5-star readings on budgets if you need to. Move towards it. That's really the answer for all things. On that note, enjoy your moon day. Adios.